Oh, thanks, Treva. Bless you. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've let that lapse on Twitch, you have to re-up it. It's not automatic necessarily. You can use Amazon Prime to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps out the show. That kind of thing. We dip below 700, so I'm trying to get us back up. Yeah, but anyways, and share the show. Share it to other people. That's how people come to like this. This is the only show of its kind. All right. So first of all, let me just say for the record that he just looks happy and content in his post-presidency. He doesn't look at all like he's grinding his teeth and confused about where he is. The bags under his eyes aren't telling at all. Thank you, Carlene. Thank you, Sparks Force and the Motang Clan for being here with us. I'm going to make Sparks Force shirts with a little, like, logo right here, I think, on the... I think that has to happen. I think that's a win. That has to. All right, so this is just a short one. He talks to OAN afterwards. I have not watched this. This is just after his little border meeting where he went to visit a gap in his wall.
One America's Christina Bobb spoke with the 45th president.
Oh, Christina Bobb. That's really? I wouldn't have thought she'd be the one.
And has this exclusive...
This is me walking by my wall. It should be black.
...interview from Texas.
Why is my wall tan over there and black over
Sir,
here?
what is your reaction to what you saw today here?
Good question. Good. What is your reaction to what? You can't just let him... All right, we'll see. Sir, what is your reaction to what you saw today here?
Well, the spirit is incredible. The sheriffs have been really great.
Are been great. Oh, no. The sheriffs are been great.
The governor, lieutenant governor, and
the vice governor and the assistant governor.
all of the other people we've
all the other governor-ish people with also governor in their sorry.
dealt with have been just amazing. It's Texas, and we won big in Texas, and we didn't have a cheated election like we did in many other states, including Arizona and including Georgia.
No, you had a different cheated election because you had Abbott using the SNS machines to flip it for you. So, but yeah, but no. It's a great case to make that point. That
I have a great feeling for Texas. And
it's a great feeling. To know you're alive, it's such a good feeling. I'm never going to let this go. This is just going to be ridiculous.
They've had a great feeling for me.
Yeah.
We have a border now that's a
disaster.
Disaster. And
it's a disaster. Really? Because when you were walking along and they were taking pictures, it looked fairly lonely, actually. I don't know why. Let's see. Why is that not working? All right.
Just a short time ago, 6 months ago, it was the strongest border we've ever had in the history of our country. And
yeah, during the pandemic when no one was crossing.
so we had a very good meeting.
Right, and under your...
We had a very good meeting. Me and the border, we all got together. We felt good about it. I felt good about it. I don't know what's happening.
administration, you had the HARP, PACER, MPP, the Remain in Mexico program, several policies in place that drastically curbed the border crisis. What's your reaction to completely wiping them out and what you're seeing here under the Biden administration?
So they're completely wiped out. Let's operate under the principle that there basically is no border patrol. That's why he was walking alone. Trump was actually volunteering to patrol the border.
Well, they just opened up the whole country to prisoners and murderers and criminals of all kinds.
Especially, yeah, all kinds. Especially the 8-year-old ones.
Human traffickers, drug dealers.
Yeah, human traffickers, drug dealers, 8-year-olds, 8-year-old drug dealers.
It's incredible what's happened.
It is incredible.
People are just walking into our country, and our country can never be the same. We have well over 1 million people have poured in already. Don't forget, when they say 4 or 5 or 600,000, that's just the people they know. You can multiply that number times 5 or 6, because most people.
Can you actually do that? Do that for us right now. I just want to see it. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. What's 4 times 6?
Don't get caught. They come in through a border. Thank goodness I built almost 500 miles of wall, and the wall has really helped, but they should have finished the wall. They could have done it in 2 months. It was supposed to be finished, and it would have been really hard to come in. But
So the rest of the wall for hundreds of miles, and people are on foot, remember? Sorry. Yeah. All right, never mind.
Decided to stop it. So they should be ashamed of themselves, actually.
And I know a lot of
Actually,
Americans watch this and see this and are concerned about it.
not a lot. I mean, the OAN crowd, and I mean, I would. There's an argument to be made that OAN's crowd is not largely American. I mean, I don't mean that in a you're un-American way. I mean literally foreign nationals.
And are scared for what's happening on our border. Is it fixable, or what do you see happening?
No, of course not. I mean, it's not fixable. You patch the wall, it's still too late. The Mexican rapist murdering voters are already in. They're all going to vote Democrat
Is there a way to solve this problem?
because they want to raise their taxes on their cartel money.
Well, I just told the governor and I just told a lot of the sheriffs that I see people on television and they're saying, like, oh, we should just immediately go back to the Trump policy. It's not that easy.
Is that what they're saying?
I had to stay in Mexico. I made an incredible deal with Mexico. I don't know if you can make those deals again.
No, you can't. The deal was you put a bunch of soldiers on there. I'll say you're going to pay for the wall and actually pay for it. And then start releasing all of your prisoners and send them to the United States. Thank you, LM.
I mean, you can if you know exactly what you're doing, but the deals we had with Honduras and El Salvador,
That weren't working.
and if you take a look at some of the other countries, you could go
What other countries would those be?
5, 6, 7 countries. They're pouring in. They're coming in from the Middle East, too. And I had
Namibia.
arrangements with everybody. We were taking them out so fast your head would spin. And now they can't even bring them back. They can't bring them to Guatemala and Honduras
Yeah, especially if they're from Namibia.
and El Salvador. They won't take them. And with me, they took them because I stopped paying them. You know, we paid them $500 million
It's the same story. God damn.
a year for what?
Dude. I mean, I guess there's a whole, like, Herman Goebbels kind of reason for repeating the same shit over and over again. But there's, like, do you think there was, like, an addendum to the Goebbels quote about, repeat the lie loud enough and long enough and everybody will believe it? Do you think there is a little, if I do say so myself, if you're going to do this kind of lying, it's much better if the actual lie is sort of plausible and doesn't look totally individually self-serving, that it has a bit of like trying to help and this type of thing. And if it gets a little tired and falls apart, you got to kind of, it certainly helps to be a good speaker. You can't just preach to your own choir in this type of situation. I mean, all right, I'll finish the quote later.
Whatever reason. And I stopped payment. And all of a sudden, they started taking back their criminals. Mm-hmm. So we have a big problem because their jails are being opened up, and the people from their jails are pouring into our country, which, of course, makes a lot of sense if you're running those countries.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to be caught. And again, so you're in Guatemala, and you're the president of Guatemala. You're the commandant of Guatemala. You're the Guatemalan Presidente Guatemala Comandante. And you come up with this great plan to save some money on your budget. And that is to empty your prisons and give everyone bus tickets to America, wherein none of those people will tell DHS or someone else, like, by the way, the president of Guatemala let us all out. If you let me in, I'll turn state's evidence and stuff. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of the dudes with the potato peeler who will kill you. I'm just a low-level bagman guy. I probably could do, I'd love to get like an internship at Fox or something. If you could, I just wanted you to know that El Presidente Comandante of Guatemala is just releasing all the rapists. And interestingly enough, Mexico doesn't mind that they're pouring through, and they don't even stop. It's funny. You'd think they would stop and murder and rape along the way, but apparently they're really focused. They're going to get up here. They're going to give it one last shot to get in the country. If they get turned back, they're out. So let me get this straight. The Biden administration is deporting any single males of a certain age, which I would guess, considering men's record of murder and rape versus women's records of murder and rape, that the vast majority of the people that he's talking about are insisting are coming up here. They're all getting sent back to Guatemala when they're caught. The ones that aren't caught, obviously, they go straight to, I guess, Marsha Blackburn's district and start working on her campaign. But the rest of them, when they get punted out, they just, Mexico's cool with them just all hanging out. That's just what they do now. That's just, Mexico is just like a gathering place for all of Guatemala's and Honduras's and many of the other countries, whatever ones he's talking about.
Blame them if we're stupid enough to allow it. So we have people coming in, hardened criminals, murderers, and they're pouring into our country.
So if you compare this to about 2018, 2019 under your administration prior to the very effective policies that you put in place,
Prior to the very effective policy, meaning letting COVID run rampant.
where the crisis was at its peak, how does what we're seeing now compare to peak under your administration?
Well, when I took it over, it was messy, and then I got it stopped immediately, rhetorically, because I said nobody come.
Rhetorically? So that's all it took? Rhetorically. It was just rhetoric, guys. It was rhetorically he handled it. Oh, you mean so when the spokesperson for DHS came out and said the borders closed in English and Spanish, and Kamala Harris went down to Guatemala, or I think she was in Guatemala, saying, "Don't come to the border," like that kind of rhetorically. Do you think he means retroactively? I don't know.
And then people started coming, and we had to build up real infrastructure, including almost 500 miles of wall. And by the time I left, we had the strongest border we've ever had.
Yeah, by the time there was a raging pandemic that was killing people all over the place.
The history of our country, and very few people were coming in. The sheriffs were just saying at the meeting, it was interesting, that the drug usage, the drugs pouring in, went down. Fentanyl went down so low, it was almost imperceptible.
Imperceptible. It's a great word. It's a new one. You might not be familiar with it. Imperceptible. Let's see. Fentanyl deaths. I don't know. Let's pick 2019, just to be a little there. Okay. It was almost nothing. You know what I mean? It was never mind the fact that here's a little look at this guy right here. So here's a graph for you. Almost nothing in total and nothing, and there you go. So here's the end of the, let's see, 2015, 2016. This is the end of the Obama years. And then Trump's coming in right about here. And look at that. Oh, yeah. No. So fentanyl deaths, national drug-involved overdose deaths among all ages by gender, 1999 to 2019. 2019's kind of a peak. 2018, kind of a peak. No numbers like no one's seen before, especially back in 2000. This is by the way, the introduction of fentanyl was it started to climb into the in the mixture was right around 2015. So that's where you're seeing the rise anyways. But no, 2017, 2019, almost identical in national overdose deaths. And there, oh hi, that's me. Where was it? Reopen the page. Hold on. Bookmarks. Rival trading common favorites. Numerology. Where do you go? I don't want the history. There it is. Overdose death rates. Sorry. There we go. 99 is okay. National drug category number, all ages. National drug involved overdose deaths. 1999 among all ages. Okay, and this one's got the actual stuff. So synthetic opioids. See, here's the introduction of synthetic opioids right here. Psychostimulants, there you go. Benzos, right over here. That should concern Trump. Heroin, and heroin tapered off because this is also the time when fentanyl started to actually come into the country, was right around here. But they listed all these heroin deaths as they were doing it as heroin deaths, even though it was heroin. This is the heroin deaths before fentanyl is introduced into the mix. And then once and they weren't even registering here because they weren't, 2011, 2013, they weren't aware that fentanyl was being added as regularly. Then it started to become more aware of it. Then it crisscrosses. And if you'll notice, the deaths from heroin are going down because people are now going, okay, it was heroin they were taking, but it's the fentanyl that killed them. This would be 2019. This would be 2017. So yeah, I don't, where's the way down part? Imperceptible. Imperceptible is the phrase. Let's see. What was that again? Dum-dum?
Almost imperceptible. And now it's at a level that it's never been at. Many.
Now Now it's at a level it's never been at. Because he knows it'll be another year before the actual statistics come out. And the number that we're actually looking at 2019 is the highest that we have on record. 2018 was the highest year on record before that, as was 2017.
Many times, like 100 times higher.
No. No. Not many. Maybe 100 times higher than 2000. Maybe 100 times higher than 2015. Oh, thanks for following. I don't know why that graphic is missing its little thing. I apologize for that. That looks funky to me. I have to fix that. That's a Stream Elements problem. I had Streamlabs, alerts on there, and then they were crashing stuff, so I had to wait for a while. And so I tried these guys as an alternative, but the picture looks weird. So I'll tell you. But anyways, thank you. Let's see. By the way, antidepressants chugging right along at about the same death rate. It's like a weather report. Benzodiazepine deaths are down, and synthetic opioids, cocaine is reaching up on people. Of course, people are, if you'll notice, a lot of this stuff is triangulating with these kind of things. And of course, prescription opioids on the downslope over the last few years because they just skipped straight to the fentanyl and died. One of the reasons why some of these other deaths are going down, why heroin's going down right here, why prescription opioids are going down, why benzo deaths are going down, why? Why? Because all the people who would have died from this shit died from this shit. That's why. But imperceptible. Okay. Imperceptible while he was president.
And it's such a dangerous drug. It's a very sad thing. It's not just people, it's drugs.
Yeah, it's not just people that are dying from drug overdose. Drugs are dying from drug overdoses.
Coming in. It's the human trafficking that comes in, and the human
because they're just women. It's mostly women, and people don't know
trafficking. That. We had that very close to stop because
very close to stopped. Because 82% of people who are sex trafficked in the United States are U.S. citizens, even the ones that are sex trafficked to foreign ships in our ports, as we learned yesterday. But who pays attention?
Because of the walls.
Because of the walls, yeah. But shipping containers full of dead migrants, no, notwithstanding.
We had that very close to stop. And
no, you didn't.
Now it's a big business again. It's terrible.
And what's your reaction to the situation with law enforcement? Because we see other states.
Yeah, law enforcement. Tell her about Law and Order.
Sending law enforcement to the border because Border Patrol and some of the federal resources don't seem to have the resources or the support to actually effectively protect the border.
Well, they have the resources, they have the money to do it, but they don't want to do it. And I don't know if.
So Florida's sending cops to Texas. Texas has the resources, but they don't want to protect the border. So Arizona doesn't want to. This is the argument?
If it's incompetence, a lot of people say they want open borders. I actually don't think they do, because who could think that's good? I really think they're incompetent. I really believe that. I believe they don't want open borders. I think they're just incompetent. They don't know how to stop it. But we did a great job, and that was really almost a reunion with all the sheriffs. I know him so well. I got to know him very well.
Yeah, he knows a guy over there and those dudes and sheriffs. Sheriffs from they got here at sheriff o'clock.
We did a great job in the border, and they better get going fast because we're not going to have a country left.
Right.
Between that and another
right.
Another favorite, I have to say this, another favorite of your topics, election and election fraud.
Yeah, which is why I'm talking to OAN, because no one else will let me blather about this bullshit.
If you don't have great elections, and if you don't have borders, you don't have a country.
Want to see more?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of countries in the world that have very porous borders and shit elections. I mean, Iraq's a country. I mean, I think you could make that case fairly strongly, and the UN protects it on so many fronts. I never mind, this is bullshit. Want more? No, I don't, actually. Thanks very much.